Okay, so what you're gonna need for tools is you're gonna need a T20 Torx screwdriver, Phillips head screwdriver, and a 10mm wrench to disconnect the battery. Here is the new switch, the turn signal multifunction switch that I need to put on. And what I'll do is I'll put a link to these in the description of the video that links over to them in our Amazon store. All right, so that's your parts list. Let's dive into this Wrangler stuff. So whenever you're working on anything electric, and especially around the motor, you always want to disconnect the battery. So we'll do that right now. Set my 10mm wrench, disconnect the battery. Take the negative off first. Put that to the side so it doesn't hit anything. And you can remove the positive. All right, so now we're all set. So before I take this all apart, the reason why I'm replacing this multi-function turn signal switch is that when I go to put the turn signal on to the right, it comes back down. It doesn't stay in that position. So when I'm turning left, like I just showed you, it'll stay to that position and it'll cancel out and click back. But it's kind of worn out and you got to fiddle with it to turn right. It's a big pain. This is actually my daughter's Jeep. She's learning how to drive, so anything that like this that you can fix for them, especially when they're learning how to drive, you don't want that to be an issue, especially when they're going for their tests. So we're gonna replace this and I'll show you how. The first thing you're gonna want to do is take your T20 Torx bit and remove this little screw right here. It's a Torx screw. Take that out. Remove this plastic trim. Be careful with it. There are some clips behind it that kind of hold it into place, and usually you can just kind of pull it out like this. It should pull right out for you. Just kind of gingerly go around it. It should drop right down just like that. And on the back side of this, there are a couple of hinges that go on the bottom. So they kind of go in, and then there's some tips. So just be careful you don't break the stuff taking it out. Just take your time. So there's 3 of those Torx screws. There's one right here. That's one we just took out. There's one more in here, and there's another one way up inside of here. So we're going to remove those other 2. So take this one out. They're kind of way up inside there, so you can feel it once you get the Torx bit on the head of it. That's one more. Then the other one on the other side is hanging out right by the ignition over here. All right. So take this one out. All right, and I'm gonna take that one out. Now the cover should come right off for you. Take that side apart. And the top should come right off and out. And you might want to move the lever down. So you can take your bottom cover here and just move it out of the way. And it should come right off for you. All right, now you can access your turn signal lever, your multifunction turn signal switch. So this screw right here is the only screw that holds the turn signal switch into place, so you're going to remove that. And that's what you needed your Phillips head for. It is not, don't drop your screw. It's not a T20, it's a regular Phillips. And then you can remove, put your wheel down, and then you may want to lock it into place. Can remove the turn signal switch. There are a couple of wires on it, as you can see. There's one in the back here and this one right here. So these just pull out right here, there's like a little tab right there that you press down on in, and then just pull that one out, and it's kind of the same for the one in the rear. And that should just come right out for you. And now you can replace your turn signal lever with your new one. So let's compare the two. Here is the OE turn signal lever that I took out of the Jeep, and here is the new aftermarket one. Yeah, it's the exact same thing. It has the provision there for the wires, and also the plug on the back, and spot right there to screw it in. All the functions are the same. Just looks a little bit cleaner, really, that's all. All right, let's go put this in. Okay, so you're gonna hook up the wire in the rear first, and it literally just plugs right into place. So you can go like this, and you can hear it snap in. Give it a little tug, make sure it's securely in there, and then we're gonna put the top one on. So we put the top one on, it literally just plugs right into place and clips in. Give it like a little slight tug again, make sure it doesn't come out on you, and it's in there, so that is secure. Now we're going to put that screw back in to hold the turn signal lever in place. So when you're putting your turn signal lever back in the position, see this little channel here? Make sure this tip slides into that channel just like that. And this bracket right here is where the screw goes. So it slides in, get it seated just like that. And then you're gonna put the screw right into here. Don't forget to make sure that's seated correctly. That holds it nice and firm for you. Okay, I have my Phillips screw in there. Got the two wires connected. That's all set. This is nice secure in place. Now we just need to put the top cover on and the bottom cover. Put the 3 screws back in, and we'll button this up. So put this bottom cover on first and poke the tilt steering lever through it before you slide it up into place. On the part over here, it's a little bit of a pain. You might have to tug it a little bit, you know, to the right to slip this cover up and over the ignition. Don't tug it too high, just like, you know, give it like a little bit of a jerk up, and it should snap right into place for you. Now I gotta throw the top cover on. Okay, so I have my top cover snapped into place. There's a little bit of a lip. See the lip right down in there? Make sure that's under the dash and it's not like folded over or something. I found that if I left the tilt steering loose, it was a little easier to tuck it under there. Make sure this is nice, and your seams are nice, and there's no tabs sticking out, and that everything is snapped in correctly. Go around to the other side. Make sure the same thing. See everything's nice and snapped together. Take your time. Don't break anything. You'll be all right. So the next thing we have to do is to put the 3 T20 screws back in. There's one here, and one here, and I'm going to do that real quick. Okay, so this is all put back together. Put the 3 Torx bits back in, Torx screws back in, sorry. Now remember that cover we took off earlier in the video? It's time to put that in. There's a couple tabs right there on the bottom, and they hinge into right there. So get those caught, and it should go right back up in a place. Push it, and it'll snap in for you. That's all there is to it. Give a little tug, nice and secure. All right, now we gotta go back outside, hook that battery up, and we'll test it all out. When you hook up the battery, hook up the positive terminal first. That way there, it won't spark. If you put the negative one off first and then the positive, you know, it might make a spark when you touch the terminal. So I always like to do them in this order, and that's less likely to happen. I'm not gonna say it won't happen, but it's less likely to happen. Make sure you have all the wiring kicked off to the side. Snug up that 10 millimeter nut. Make sure it's tight. Don't crank down on it so much that you break it, but just make sure it's snug. You can put the negative one on. Same thing, hold it in place. Where you catch that 10 millimeter nut. I'm using a gear wrench. I'll put all this stuff in the description of the video. You can buy it out of our store. These gear wrenches are awesome. I love them. All right, give it a little tug. Make sure nothing's wiggly. If the connections just aren't right in these Jeeps, it causes issues. So make sure everything's clean. Let's go test out that turn signal switch and see if that works. All right, here we go, guys. Moment of truth. I haven't tried this out yet. right? So no lights on the dash other than the seatbelt light, but that's no big deal. Oh, that's nice. It works. It holds. Cancels out. Get the left turn signal. Works right. Try it again. Sweet. Let's make sure all the lights work and everything works. Turn the lights on. I'm going to pull it out. This Jeep has the fog lights. Let's go check it out. Yep, everything's working right. So if you have any questions on this, leave a comment. I will reply back to you. It's always a great feeling when something's fixed and it's off your plate. All the tools that I used are in the description of the video. Click on it. You can grab them out of our Amazon store. Hope you guys liked the video. Thanks for watching.